All right, everyone, welcome back to our second session of this year's Student Mental Health Summit, which is our Parade of Ideas session. I mentioned at the end of our first session with Kevin Fisher, but in case you missed the last portion of that, let me quickly rewind what this session is all about. So the Parade of Ideas session is a very fast-paced, quick idea sharing mega session with the goal of sharing as many creative ideas as possible in the next 30 minutes. We had a submission form that went out to all of our participants to drop in some ideas that you're doing in your building. And from that submission form, we selected about a dozen featured speakers for the next 30 minutes. But with that said, we do want to hear from all of you. Everybody's doing neat things as far as mental health. Everybody's doing little things that buildings could take and use ideas right away. And we want to hear about it. And that's what this session's all about. So if you want to jump in, if you want to join the fun, there's two different ways. We're going to roll through our presenters, our panel, and their ideas. And then if you want to share something, if a light bulb goes off and go, yeah, I forgot, we do this, and I want to talk about it, please drop that in the Q&A. Just write, I want to share, or use the raise hand feature inside Zoom. If there's time left, we can promote you to the panel, and you can share some of the great work that you're doing in your building. So with that said, I'm going to jump right into it. We're going to welcome in our first speaker for our panel of, Parade of Ideas from Grossport South High School. Please welcome Megan. Megan, you can unmute and share your idea.
Hi, everyone. My name is Megan Wysocki. I'm a senior at Grossport South High School. So for the past 3 years, we've hosted a wellness week right after midterms to raise awareness on mental health. This council-led event gives students a chance to explore different de-stressing practices, learn about mental illness, and other events to promote wellness. It's a fantastic way to engage the entire school community with a common goal of helping students navigate mental wellness. As with all student council events, planning is the backbone. So for Wellness Week, we have to make sure there is clear communication between each class council, counselors, and administration. It's also important to us to have a central location for everything to be happening because it makes it easier for students to participate when they know it's all taking place at one point. So we use the library, but for your school, it could be the student commons, the lobby, or the cafeteria. We've also been lucky enough to partner with Ascension St. John, which is a local hospital, and they provided us service dogs and aromatherapy. One of the coolest things, we were able to bring in a therapy horse in 2020 for students to pet and play with on the front lawn, and that was absolutely incredible. So if you'd like any more information, I can drop my email in the chat and just feel free to send me a message.
I get petting the horse. How does one play with a horse?
Okay, fine. It's more petting, but you know.
Awesome. Thank you, Megan. Great sharing. Mental Health Week has actually become something popular for a lot of schools across the state. I mean, getting those weeks carved out, it is a big undertaking. I know Grossport South has been running it for a number of years now, and we'll be posting some more contact information for some of the educators, not the students, but the educators, if you do want to get in touch to learn more about these opportunities. Next up for our Parade of Ideas sharing session from Troy High School, please welcome Saryu.
Hi, everybody. My name is Saryu Churla. I'm a senior at Troy High School, and I'm coming at you guys from the Troy High School store. I'm going to share with you a couple quick ideas that Troy High does to promote mental health. Something that we do during every major holiday is our staff divides up the list of the student body and writes a note, an individualized, personalized note to every single student of the student body, simply acknowledging their presence, appreciating them, and making them feel seen. This is just a simple initiative that makes every student feel like they belong and are recognized at Troy High School. Our leadership class also writes birthday notes to every single member of the student body on their birthdays. Our leadership class also created a mental health committee this past week and is here at the conference, and we're super excited about new initiatives to bring back. We also host something called Cold Care Week at the very first week of the year, where we unite clubs across the school and we welcome them. We welcome our student body into the school in the mornings by passing out candy and little gift favors, as well as closing them off at the end of the day. We have a Cold Care Fund where we help out students of different socioeconomic status and who are struggling with little initiatives that really promote them, boost their morale to keep them going throughout the day. So in the past, we've helped a kid get a new pair of glasses. So these simple initiatives are just a way for our members of our student body to feel seen and heard and recognized.
Great. I love that idea. Thank you so much for sharing. A great way to use some of the fundraising, some of the funds to actually show tangible good. That's awesome. Next idea comes from Monroe High School. Jordan, you may unmute and share.
So, hi, I'm Jordan Basler from Monroe High School. I'm a senior. And at my school, we recognize mental health as a thing that doesn't apply to just 1 week or a couple of days. We do this several times throughout the year, multiple different weeks. We actually create a survey that people can fill out throughout the entire student body and just put a message in there that they would like to broadcast, like in the front on the windows. We put down with window paint. And it's just a good way that when students come in every day, they get to see what their fellow students want to say to them. It's just a good reminder for people to see in the morning or when they're exiting school. So I think it's really simple, but it's a really good way to really just like make people realize like people are thinking about them, and it's a reminder every day. So, thank you. If you have any questions, I'll put my email in the comments.
Hey, Jordan, real quick, is that an initiative that happens every single day at Monroe, or there's certain times of the year, certain days of the week?
So like, it's just like, it won't happen every day. Like we'll run out a new survey like for different weeks of the school year. So like, say for like, we have like a wish week that we do. We help like certain students with different things. And like, we'll push out that survey, and then we'll do that for like, we'll have those up on the windows for a certain amount of time. And then we'll run a new survey some other time later in the year.
Awesome. Thank you for clarifying that, Jordan. Next idea comes from North Farmington High School. I spelled Farmington wrong. Whoops. Yash, you're up. You can unmute and share.
Hi guys, my name is Yash. I'm from North Farmington High School. And so I'm going to share a few quick ideas. So number one is SEL. So at my school, we have an SEL coordinator, and SEL stands for social emotional learning. So everything from community building, restorative practice, and establishing norms in a team technically falls under that umbrella. But it's become sort of a buzzword because since the beginning of COVID, many people have brought more attention to SEL. So our SEL coordinator is Miss Henry at North Farmington, and she emphasizes topics like deep breathing, meditation, and yoga. How do we implement it? Because we don't have a specified homeroom this year, it's done through educators at their own discretion. So every staff meeting, Miss Henry teaches a new SEL strategy that teachers can use in class. And so these techniques are very effective because they recenter students and give them a very well-needed productive break from academics. So the other thing is that counselors play a large role in addressing mental health. We have a mental health awareness month in May, and on the announcements, we give students facts about mental health so they're more informed. And additionally, counselors send emails and put up posters emphasizing self-care, positive self-talk, coping, things like that just help students keep in mind how they can take care of their mental health, especially during stressful times.
Hey, Yash, who comes up with that list of statistics, daily reminders, tips, and tricks that go on the morning announcements every day?
Generally, the counselors are in charge of that.
And that another great initiative where I think you can get some immediate traction on. Obviously, that's a great project to work with your team, as Yash helped describe that. That would be another easy win where you can cultivate some of these messages and tips, from students. It doesn't always have to be from the counselors. Obviously, they're the professionals. They would want to go through and help vet it. But helping build out that content to share with your student body would be a great project as you start to learn a little bit more about some of these initiatives to incorporate into your daily program. Thank you, Yash. That's awesome. Next idea, another from Monroe High School. We're going to turn the mic over to Michelle. Michelle, you can unmute and share.
Hello guys, my name is Michelle and I'm from Monroe High School and I'm a senior. So I used to be part of this club called PPI, which stands for Positive Peer Influence. And then some of the ideas that we came up is like writing like sticky notes, and it would have for each month, let's say it's October, we'll write all the October birthdays on that month and post it across the wall. And it's just like, I think it's just really nice. It's like, as like explaining, like just having that like mentality, like, hey, someone thinks about me, and just showing like appreciation and like consideration, like, hey, like, oh, it's your birthday, and like it's like a thoughtful thing to think, and just, hey, my friend knows my birthday is coming up, and they can just give them like it's just really nice having that warm feeling. And another idea that it was more like during COVID time, we had like no, like since Monroe was all virtual all year, we had this like weekly challenge thing, and me and my friend thought about it, and because like no one would turn their camera on, like no one would engage in a conversation. It was just like so awkward in the breakout rooms. So we had to find ways like for the school to communicate with each other, and like everyone's like mental health just like was all like horrible during that year, and including mine too as well. So this weekly challenge would basically consist like every week there will be this challenge, and everybody, like if anyone wants to participate, um, they will just like complete these small challenges, like writing a card to a teacher, or saying a nice thing to a person in the Zoom chat, and like everyone will see it. It's just like these small things, and then after doing these small things, you get like a little prize.
And then I have two comments for you, Michelle. One, the idea of creating some type of virtual content, some type of competition to get out in front of students is another initiative that we've seen multiple schools come up with. One of the resources that I'm going to share with everyone is a packet called Wellness Wednesdays, where essentially they're taking your model from what you did over COVID and they're making it an active part of their instruction. And that goes both out on schools' social media sites and their platforms, as well as something they post around the building or put into their announcements. And every Wednesday, they have a different challenge, they have a different exercise, they have another talking point they want students either discussing or competing in that challenge realm to, again, make this more visible and surround all of our student bodies with different tips and tricks and resources around mental health. So I am going to share our Wellness Wednesday document with all of our participants. And again, it's just one Wednesday a week, every single Wednesday, you can post something positive to get in front, both in the digital world as well as on site. I do want to talk about the sticky notes very quickly. That seems like a very, very large initiative. How many students would you say are in charge of putting together those sticky notes? And then how much of that process has to go through some type of counselor, advisor, administrator to seek approval? And then where do you stick them? Is it on the lockers themselves?
It's like we have like these wings, and we just put in like in the hallways, and it's like, well, they approved it. I can't remember what we did last time because like it was during COVID time, but we were planning to put the sticky notes, and it was like a process. I would have to talk to my advisor, but I'm not part of that club no more, so it's kind of hard to say. But that was one of our ideas that we were thinking during like next year, but since I'm not part of it, it's kind of hard to say. But yeah, we just put the sticky notes there, and it's everybody's birthday, and it's just in that certain hallway where everyone can just pass and see it.
Yeah, I love it. I'm sure you got positive feedback. One of the points Kevin talked about is how much we, sometimes we don't know what's going on at home with different students and different educators. So having that little extra push, whether it's on a birthday or a random note, that can help set the tone for the entire day. So again, thank you so much for sharing. Next idea from Parade of Ideas. We're going to turn it over from H.H. Dow High. Sophia, you're up.
Hi, I'm Sophia. I'm a senior at H.H. Dow High. Something that we do at our school is that in a couple of my classes, we have moments of silence, which last for like 2 to 5 minutes before starting class. And the teachers use this as a way to relax and have us be prepared to learn. And then they tell us to like get rid of all distractions, such as our phones, thoughts about other classes, and whatever is stressing us out about that day. Because I don't know, it's like for me, like if I had like a math test, I'm usually thinking about the entire day about that math test. So it's just nice to like have a clean slate and be prepared to learn. And then also another way we try to emphasize making time to reflect and like think about ourselves is that we have something called Kindness Week, where we have all classes implement at least 5 minutes of meditation at the beginning of class for the entire week. And we usually do that before exams. And then just to emphasize the importance of being kind to yourself first. And I think these practices are really important because we're usually like, especially during COVID, we're used to just like constantly working, especially with activities, school, working with jobs. So like having those like small amounts of practices to just have peace during the school day goes a long way.
And Sophia, did you say that was an initiative that's run school-wide?
For what?
Class gets the chance, they sit down, they start the class, they do the meditation, or is that just a
for Kindness Week? Yeah.
For Kindness Week, outstanding. We are headed over to Lake Orion High School. Sedona, you may unmute and share your idea.
All right, hi. I want to start by apologizing if there's noise. Just my luck, it is literally passing time at my school and I'm in the hallway. But my name is Sedona and I'm a senior at Lake Orion. And one thing, we do like a You Matter week, but I'm going to be talking about one of the specific things that we did during that. So one of the events we did was at lunches in our common area. We had a bracelet making area set up, and we had a table set up with string, beads, and scissors. Oh, the bell, that's good. With strings, bead, and scissors, and like letter beads. And so we didn't just leave the supplies there for them to make bracelets on their own, but we actually had students in our club called Students Offering Support sitting there so that they could talk to them if they wanted to while making the bracelets. And we let this be as serious or not as serious as the students wanted. We encouraged the bracelets to have phrases on them like stay calm or I got this or breathe or anything that helped them out, but they were totally allowed to make it say anything or nothing at all. And also, like, same thing goes for the conversations. Some people sat down and did not say anything. Some people would just make small talk, and some people felt that it was a very safe space to like open up about more serious things. So it was just a great way that you had something physical to take away that could serve as like a personal reminder, like look at your wrist, it says like breathe. And if you're stressed out in your class or something. And also it was a very good time for students to be able to talk to someone if they maybe didn't have anyone to talk to.
Yeah, I think a couple quick points then. I appreciate you sharing that idea so much. One is I think some people would be surprised how much a little bracelet, when they look down at it, it can trigger that feeling or that extra reminder. It's a technique that we've used at some of our summer leadership camps, just that constant reminder of, who you are and what you stand for, or those extra reminders to take a step back and to relax. Something tangible like that can go a long way for your students. And if you're looking at student culture initiatives, that's a great one right there. You're putting your brand on it. You're using school colors. You're creating positive messages. And two more points I wanted to make for that. One, I think it's a phenomenal idea that this was a man or woman, a person station where you have, students or counselors there to help take them through that activity, right? You're having people sit there. So it's not independent. It's not just a table. There's a little bit more, feedback involved, and you have people that are be willing to talk. The other great thing that could be implemented is having some resources and handouts. Maybe you have different clubs or different activities there that students could take. Maybe you have some programs that you're launching or extra reminders like the breathing techniques or the meditation or yoga that when students are filling it out, they could take a little note card that has some of that information on it, making it more tangible. I think that's an outstanding, very quick win being done at Lake Orion. So Sedona, thank you so much for sharing. We head, a little bit northeast of Lake Orion. We're going to Holly Middle School. Kristen, you can unmute and share. Thank you so much for joining us.
Hi, I'm Charlotte Pullman, and I'm a 7th grader from Holly Middle School. One of the many things we do at Holly Middle School is the SLT, or the Student Lighthouse team, would write an inspirational quote on the whiteboard that right when you walk in, when all the students walk in, you see an inspirational quote. And personally for me, I love seeing the inspirational quote. Maybe when I wake up on the wrong side of the bed, seeing that, it really just brightens up my day. And then another thing we do is the teachers are given like mindfulness activities to share with their students at the beginning of each hour. And it allows the students to prepare their minds or release stress or anything that they need to get off their mind. It helps them.
Well, let's talk about this, because I like both the ideas that you share. So not to put you on the spot too much, let's talk about the lighthouse itself. Who comes up with the inspirational quotes that are pinned to the lighthouse?
So it depends. So mostly we have like little groups in the Student Lighthouse team, and there is a group, or we all put quotes on documents. It depends, but it's mostly a group of maybe 4 or 5 people that create quotes. And we, at the beginning of the day, or the end of the day, write the quote on the board.
I love it. And that's a lot of hard work being done, but a lot of great work being done for your school. The one little extra, maybe have you considered having a submission box right next to it and maybe taking some quotes from other students in the building and maybe turning that into a competition? Or maybe you can highlight quote of the week that came from one of your peers. That might be an extra way to add to it. Obviously, your idea is fantastic. You would have come up with that idea probably in the next couple of hours, but that might be another way to add to an already very, very powerful initiative.
Thank you for the suggestion.
Thank you so much for sharing. We appreciate it. It goes a long way. Thank you again. All right. Before I introduce our next speaker, want to remind everyone, you're hearing some of these ideas. We've covered about 8, 9 different ideas. You can hear how quick they are, how easy they are. We're not looking for, gigantic, heavy involved, finance programs. What are little ideas that you do in your buildings? And we know you have great ideas. Now would be a great time if you want to get in part of it. Please drop your name in the Q&A, and we'd love to spotlight you as a speaker, or raise your hand. Use that hand raise feature. We can bring you up onto our panel and you can share your idea, but we definitely want to hear from more of our audience what cool ideas you have going on across the state. Now, I will introduce from Dakota High School. Ryan, you may unmute and share your idea.
Hi guys, my name is Ryan. I'm actually senior at Northville High School. It's a little bit west of Dakota, but at my school, we have a club named Color My World, and their goal is to help raise awareness and attention around mental health, as well as make sure that our school is a safe and open environment for all. Each year, Color My World hosts their annual Color Run. This is a fantastic fundraiser in which we involve the whole community, not just our school. People come to the high school and run a 5K in order to raise money and awareness around mental health, and runners will have colored powder thrown on them while they are running. And after the run, we have a ton of activities for participants to engage in. We have vendors who bring food for people to enjoy, several raffles, various speakers, and a DJ. In terms of planning the event, a digital sign-up form is sent out around the school and the community in which those who are interested can pay to sign up. Usually, tickets will cost $20, and all participants will receive a shirt and sunglasses, and our first 50 signups receive free raffle tickets. Our Color My World members will reach out to local businesses for sponsorships, and typically, local restaurants and bakeries will bring in food, and stores will donate items for our raffles. Businesses that do decide to sponsor the event will have their logos displayed on the back of our shirts, given to the participants, and on a banner on the day of the run. We usually hold the event outdoors on our soccer field at our school, and this also serves as a starting and ending point for the run. Participants will run on a path that totals 5 kilometers that goes into neighborhoods by our school, and on the day of the run, we'll have volunteers with colored powder. Color My World members, as well as student volunteers from our school, help throw the colored powder on the runners throughout the path, run booths, and help direct participants along the way. In years past, with the money raised from the event, we were able to send all of the Northville High School staff members to a suicide prevention training session, invite various mental health and wellness speakers to our school, and hold several wellness activities like yoga and pancake breakfasts for free for all our students to enjoy. The Color Run itself creates an exciting climate around our school, and it's an event that many students look forward to. I know for me, it's one of my favorite events of the year, and I will also be dropping my email in the chat, so if you have any questions, feel free to reach out.
And that would be considered one of the bigger initiatives. I know you've done great work in this area to get that up and running, but at the same time, we're talking about making community-wide impact, having something established like a Color Run, and then tying it in with mental illness and getting some of your local businesses involved. Well done, Ryan. I appreciate you sharing. Next up, who's actually from Dakota High School? Please welcome Elena.
Yes, I'm Elena. I go to Dakota High School. One initiative that we do at Dakota is something called High Five Friday. So basically what it is a club will stand outside the entrance of our school and play music and high five the kids and teachers as they walk in. We've been doing this since before I've been attending Dakota. It's a lot of people do enjoy it because it just is a nice way to start your day, create a positive atmosphere. I do have our Instagram that shows what this looks like, so I'll share that real quick. Here we go. My bar is a little hidden, but there we go. So gotta move that too. High Five Friday, here we go. So basically, yeah, everyone just stands outside the entrance and high five students as they walk in, pretty self-explanatory. we do it a lot of times before like events to get everyone excited, like before regionals, before states. Yeah, it's just a lot of fun. So I recommend doing it. It's something easy, quick. You can also get like other clubs involved too. Sometimes we have different clubs at Dakota, like one time girls volleyball did it. And it's like another way to get different clubs involved. So yeah, that's High Five Friday. And then another thing we do at Dakota, we just did this once last year when we were virtual. So we were all like at a point, like the students as a collective, we're all at a low point. We felt overwhelmed and just our mental health was probably at the lowest. So we were expressing this frustration to our teacher, and she decided to invite our principal and vice principal onto our Zoom call. And we created a student-led fishbowl, and it's just an opportunity for students to talk about anything that's important to us. And so at the time it was mental health. And so how it worked is she prompted us with questions, and then our principal did as well. And then at the end, we had a chance to bring up anything that didn't get brought up. And I do think it was a very beneficial thing to have, because it allowed administrators and teachers to have a perspective from students that they wouldn't ordinarily get, but I think is very important because they are the ones making important decisions about our lives. And it did lead to like positive change. Like I know a lot of my teachers after they got an email from our principal, and they like made changes that helped make our schedules more easy and less overwhelmed, because there's kind of like a disconnect between the teachers and the students at this time. So I feel like this helped bridge the gap and create a good method of communication. And I think this year we will try to do it again we have like a community/mental health week, maybe in person, probably easier on Zoom. And yeah, I'm very happy we did that initiative, and I hope to continue that as well. So yeah, that's from Dakota.
I would agree. We should be very proud of both those initiatives. I love the ideas, Elena, and I love the visual evidence. So thank you so much for sharing.
Yes, of course.
We have a few more, and we got a couple of minutes left. Like I said, this happens fast. We're hoping you're taking notes. We'll share it with you anyways. We hope you're picking up some new ideas. So from North Farmington High School, please welcome Nikhil.
Hello, everyone. My name is Nikhil. I also attend North Farmington High School. So Yash shared some ideas that we currently implement in our school. I'm going to talk about a new idea that schools can add. I just want to reiterate again that mental health is not just a one-time deal. It's something that should be constantly emphasized in schools. Oftentimes, there's not a lot of options that are sustainable, but the long-term focus, an idea first coined by the man Simon Sinek. This long-term focus emphasizes a continuous cycle of helping the mental health crisis. One long-term idea is to write positive messages on playing cards and have other students pass them on to others. These playing cards can have positive messages such as "you made my day" or "keep being you." Students that receive these cards can pass them on to others in a secretive manner, such as putting them in people's backpacks or by simply handing it to them. This process can continue over and over and over again. Your student council can even add more cards along the way during the school year if they want to. So yeah, that's just a new idea. If you have any questions, let me know.
Thank you, Nikhil. Awesome. And great drop with Simon Sinek. Big fan. I know you are too. We've talked about it. Next up, we have two more left. We're gonna go through these. We get you onto our hour break for lunch. But from Grossport South High School, Alina, you are up. You can unmute and share your idea.
Hi, everyone. My name is Alina, and I'm a senior at Grossport South High School. Megan touched on it earlier, but we host a wellness week at our school. And I just wanted to go a little more in depth on our therapy animals, because the dogs are normally the biggest hit. So like she said, they usually stay in our library with the handler during both of our lunches, and we try to have them a couple days throughout the week. And like she touched on, we've partnered with the local hospital who supplied therapy dogs, but we also reach out to the community, and we just ask for any parents or community members who have registered therapy dogs, and they're normally more than happy to bring them in for a couple days. And it's just a great way to interact with the community. And then in 2020, we were able to bring in a therapy horse from a nearby ranch. And it depends if there is one near you, but it did get a lot of attention from students. And I think that the greatest thing about just having therapy animals is that it gets students excited and interested in the week. So you kind of can build the week around that. And then because they're interested in going to the library to see the therapy animals, then there's other resources in the library and they can interact with other stuff. So that's how we utilize the therapy dogs.
Love it. And we love that idea. And I thank you for explain that a little bit further. Schools can take that and adopt it. You don't have to have a gigantic mammal. You can have the little furry friendly ones too. But again, it's another way to gauge, get more interest involved in your event. We have one more left, then we'll take our break. I'll talk a little bit about what's coming, but we did have one come through the chat that I want to touch on real quick. Alia, can you tell us where you're from? Because I didn't have that in part of my notes. And then feel free to unmute and share your idea.
I'm Aaliyah from Patrick Henry Middle School. I'm a freshman. So what our school does is we have our counseling advisory committee, which we just help focus on what kids need most at our school. We like plan events, to help students get to know each other, and sticky notes on lockers, writing in the mirrors, just helping uplift students.
Got it. Okay, now I'm back. Thank you so much for sharing. We appreciate it. Like we said, that was about 18 brand new ideas, very, very quick, but also very, very informative. We also have an open submission form for our parade of ideas. So as you're thinking, as you're going through the conference, we'd actually like to make a giant list of all the ideas and share it with all of our attendees. So you're going to get, we have about 20 ideas that are submitted so far. But again, if you go back through the platform, if you go into some of the know before you go emails that we sent out, drop your idea. The more we can do to share with other people, with other schools, the more we can develop a more holistic approach for some of these easy ideas we're going to get into. With that said, my time in this session is up. I'm going to explain what's happening from here. We are on a 1 hour lunch break from 11:30 to 12:30 before we get into our concurrent keynote speakers. So we do have 3 keynote speakers that will happen concurrently. As a team, use that school assessment tool, use some of your conversations and some of the feedback you've gotten, and try to figure out which keynote session aligns most with your target goals from this conference. Let's be intentional about what we're selecting and why. And perhaps from those conversations, all 3 keynotes look like something you want to attend. Then absolutely, by all means, divide the team up and attend them all. We do have 3 different sessions that will happen from 12:30 to 1:30 for your team to join. With that said, keep in mind, all of our sessions for the 2 days, from data trends and assessment with Kevin Fisher, parade of ideas, our keynote speakers, all of our breakout sessions, we're recording them all. So we are going to post those back to the platform. So if there's a couple sessions that you really, really want to attend and you're coming down some very tough decisions, we got you. We will record them, post them back to the site, and you can watch on your own time. So with that said, again, big round of applause to our presenters. Thank you so much for jumping on, sharing your cameras, sharing your ideas with about 1,000 people from across the state of Michigan. We're going to take a 1 hour lunch break, and we'll see everybody back at 12:30 for our keynote speakers. Thank you all again.